Good evening, everyone. We will now begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for blessings and protection received while participating in the construction of paradise on earth. In this service, we are also asking God and Meishu-sama to bless and protect the spirit of Maria Luisa dos Santos da Silva for her 50 days of transition to the spiritual realm. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer, please stand. Takamahara ni kamsumarimasu.
Kamuromi kamuromi no mikoto mochite sumeni oya kamuri sakagi no mikoto tsukushi no himuka no tachi hana no odo no ahagi harani misogi harani Tamo toki ni nai maseru harai dono kani tachi moro moro no bhagavato tsumi kegai o harai tamae kiyome tamae tomao sukoto no yoshimo amatsu kani kumitsu kani yao yorozu no kani tachi tomoni ame no fuji koma no mini furitatete kikoshi meseto kashikomi mo maosu Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie miyoya mushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Oshie miyoya mushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae Kom nagara tamachi haemase. Kom nagara tamachi haemase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified, as we lead your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan.
Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
May God and Meishu-sama bless you.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Courtesy. Inner awareness allows us to act freely, naturally, and with ease, yet still live in accordance with God's law. Let us never stray from the right path. May we follow the law of nature and diligently perform our tasks. If common courtesy is lacking, free thought and action become a fallacy, a pretense. They are not a measure of our true freedom. Shoujo faith tends to be lacking in freedom, and Daijo faith has unlimited freedom. However, freedom unrestricted by one's wisdom and reason may lead to self indulgence or willful and capricious freedom. Thus, we should seek to balance these two principles of freedom. True freedom has to respect the freedom of others and therefore is not without limits. Freedom, in the true sense of the word, has its boundaries. If you even slightly inconvenience or harm another, you feel unease, guilty, and cannot be free and at ease. If you give happiness and joy to others, then you feel happiness and joy. This is true freedom. A person's destiny is given by God at birth. It is predetermined, so it cannot be changed. Fate, however, can be freely changed by an individual within the limits of his or her given destiny. Depending on a person's efforts, it is possible to reach the highest level within that range or to drop to its lowest level. Freedom is similar to fate in that true freedom is contained within certain boundaries. There is no such a thing as limitless freedom. True freedom has limitations. That is, it is finite.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters. This evening, I want to share the faith experience from Sandra del Rosario Aburto Jara. She's from the Chile Johrei Center. Sandra was born in Chile and she lives in Santiago City. Before she first received Johrei, she suffered from thyroid nodules and throat problems. She lost her voice frequently and spoke in a whisper. She had a difficult character. Everything bothered her, and she looked at everything angrily, and always walked with a frown on her face. In 2017, she met a friend. Noticing that this friend was doing very well, Sandra asked her what she was doing. She told Sandra that she attended a place called Johrei Center. This friend explained what it was and encouraged Sandra to visit. A few days later, Sandra visited our church. Upon receiving her first Johrei, she experienced a warm sensation that soothed her and made her feel light. It felt like her body had no illness or pain. Since then, she has been attending our church assiduously to receive Johrei and participate in the monthly appreciation services. She was blessed to receive the sacred focal point of Hikari in March of 2018. Sandra felt an uplifting feeling difficult to express in words. Shortly thereafter, she went for her annual thyroid exam. Surprisingly, she heard the doctor say that her thyroid was healthy. She felt so happy and fulfilled that she went to the center to express her gratitude to God and Meishu-sama. Her throat problems also disappeared. Nowadays, she doesn't lose her voice anymore, and she carries conversations normally. She's aware that all these blessings were due to constantly receiving and channeling Johrei. She strives to take every opportunity to give service in the divine work. Every day she travels an hour and 20 minutes by bus in the morning and afternoon to and from work. Along the way, she watches our online services and reads Meishu-sama's teachings. She learned that by reading the divine writings, her spirit calms down and gains strength. Thus, now she looks at life in a different way. Meishu-sama points out the mistakes of today's society and at the same time provides the solutions to change our lives and realize paradise on earth through our practices of faith. Last year, just before the pandemic, she traveled to Brazil to visit her family and found her niece, who was on the verge of marital separation. Sandra gave her Johrei and shared the links to our online services. Her niece's marital relationship was harmonized, and she's very grateful to Johrei. Her niece attends our services frequently and stated that she has the desire to receive the Ohikari to serve in the divine work. When she once more visited Brazil, she and her whole family made the commitment to visit the Guarapiranga sacred grounds. She can say that her life was transformed thanks to Johrei and our other practices of faith. Now she's a positive, happy, and cheerful person. All her discomfort and worry ceased. When she looks at angry people, she keeps thinking she was like that too, and now she's not. She does not judge them, but tries to see them with affection, love, and if possible, channels Johrei and guide them to our church. Sandra is very grateful to God and Meishu-sama for so many blessings she receives on a daily basis. Her commitment is to continue dedicating, channeling Johrei, studying the teachings, materializing her donations of gratitude, and guiding her family to the path of salvation. That was Sandra Hada from the Chile Johrei Center. And another experience I want to share with you this evening. This one is from Domingas Kanyanga. She's from the Futungo Johrei Center in Angola. Domingas is not a Johrei member yet, as she gives service as an assistant missionary. She was introduced to our Church of Angola in 2013 through a missionary. The reasons behind her being guided were illnesses and conflicts. As for this disease, her son at the time suffered from malaria. He was taken to a hospital in a critical condition, and even though he was medicated, his situation became unbearable. At the church, after being guided to experience our basic practice of faith, everything was outdated. That means her practices were not up to date. And then she was guided to experience our basic practices of faith. After some time, to express her gratitude, she decided to become a member to better serve in the divine work. The faith experience that she would like to share with us is related to a time she had a lack of gratitude. After her son recovered, she became an inactive member because she lost her Ohikari and Meishu-sama's picture. That's why in the beginning of this faith experience, she mentioned she was not a member yet because she had to retake the classes. She believed in what other people had to say and then went back to her previous religion. After a few years, illness and conflict returned to her home. Her former son-in-law began to visit her house and lacked respect towards her. Her daughter started having nightmares and insomnia. And when the situation got worse, Domingas decided to come back to our church. And as soon as she complied with our basic practice of faith, thanks to God and Meishu-sama, everything troublesome was surpassed. The spiritual atmosphere within her family has improved significantly. As, for instance, the spirit of a man who used to make appearances in the middle of the night ceased to manifest himself. Her commitment is to receive the sacred focal point of Hikari for the second time to better serve in the divine work. Dominguez is very thankful to God, Meishu-sama, and her ancestors for introducing to her this wonderful path of salvation. Thank you very much for listening to these faith experiences, for participating in this evening service. For those who live in the United States, you are most probably celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow, so I wish you a very blessed, very wonderful Thanksgiving to you with your loved ones, family, friends. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion our evening service. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a blessed evening.